Hello there and welcome, Lynx here. This is Katawa Shoujo, Emmy's hopefully good end. Good end? I mean, route to the good end. Act 4, which I think, actually I know, it's the last one. Called Motion. Let's see how this will turn around. The sound of my alarm is an unwelcome intrusion on a sleep that's been a battle to obtain. I doubt I've been truly asleep for more than an hour or two. That's me, actually. In the previous 2 days. Too much on my mind. Did I make the right choice? Leaving the house yesterday? Did I manage to get Amy to realize how unreasonable she's been? Am I ever going to manage to get her to stop being unreasonable? Amy's mom gave me a new perspective the other day, but I'm still not sure that it's the right perspective. She was hurt when I left yesterday too. I know that part of any conversation is going to have to include an apology about that. Right thing to do or not, I heard her. I hurried down to the truck, eager to talk to Amy. I think I know what to say. Apologize for leaving first and then go ahead from there. Unless, of course, Amy doesn't show up. Which from the look of things seems like it's the case. It's been about 50 minutes since I got here and there's no sign of her. She's never late, not unless she's sick, which is unlikely. She probably just doesn't want to see me right now. To take my mind off what that implies, I begin my warm-up routine and take off around the truck. It clears my mind wonderfully. For the half hour I'm running, I don't think about anything but the run. That's impressive, Hisao. And to think you started with just 4 laps. However, once I finished and Amy still hasn't shown up, I got a little worried. With any luck, the nurse will know where she is. If nothing else, I can see what he thinks I should do next. So, last night didn't go too well, I take it. Huh? You already know. I have my ways, and it's not as if I'd missed the distinct absence of your running partner this morning, now would I? Oh, I suppose not. So, what happened? Don't you know already? Maybe, but I could be bluffing. Perhaps I'd prefer to get your side of the story before I give any advice. I quickly fill the nurse in on the events of the last night, and he takes it all in without changing expression once. That's scary. Nothing about the whole event seems to surprise him, although he does seem surprised when I say that I didn't follow Amy. Huh? Choose to talk to your mom instead, huh? Smart move. Oh, I guess it didn't work out too well for you in the end. Well, I'm not sure. Amy seemed apologetic when I left, or at least she seemed that way until she put up her defenses again. The nurse sighs and spreads his hands in a conciliatory gesture. Frankly, I'm surprised she let them down at all. Amy's scheduled practice on that scar. You probably won't get everything else out of her. I don't believe you. Is that so? You think she'll tell you the whole tale? I swear I just saw the nurse's eyes glitter a little. His expression is the same, but he leans forward ever so slightly. I love this guy. I think she'll open up if I ask her without being an idiot about it, yeah. The nurse gives his enigmatic smile in response and tracks widely. I think he's enjoying his role a little too much. That's the real trick, ain't it? I sure know the right way to approach the subject. I can guarantee that Amy's going to try her hardest to pretend last night didn't happen. It will be painfully awkward for the both of you, but it will also be a lot safer than trying to ask her for the whole story again. It could go worse this time. Are you ready for something like that? It sounds like a challenge. Like he doesn't believe for a minute that I'd be so bold. I actually feel a little insulted by his lack of confidence in me. Of course I'm ready for that. I love her. My outburst gets a raised eyebrow in response. Well then. Good luck. Let me know how it all turns out. Although he delivers his parting shot with the same smirk as usual, I actually think that the nurse wants me to succeed. I love this guy. I mean, I also love Kenji. They are both awesome characters. God damn it. I resist the urge to charge directly to Amy's room to prove the nurse wrong. I've gone in half cooked before, and the results were less than stellar. If I'm going to do this, I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. Something to think about in class. Sure enough, by the time lunch rolls around, I think I have a good enough idea of what to say. I can do this. The bell rings, and I grab my lunch and dash up the stairs, eager to be the first. I'll need to ask Rin to leave, and I'll need to... Hi, Hisao! Sorry I wasn't able to run with you this morning, I overslept. Somehow, both Amy and Rin have managed to get to the room before me. That's no problem. Last night was kind of draining, I guess. Amy's expression doesn't alter in the slightest. Yeah, sorry about that, but I've had such a weird morning since then. Oh, really? Amy proceeds to make small talk for the rest of the time. I can barely get a word in edgewise, and soon find myself interjecting with the sort of back and forth dialogue that seems to have defined our early relationship. I'm not gonna get anywhere on this problem during lunch, obviously. I can respect that. Amy obviously doesn't want to accidentally pull Rin into things, and that's fine. Not that I think Rin would notice, but I can at least respect that sort of rationale. I try a different tactic. Amy, what are you up to after class today? I was thinking we could go somewhere for dinner or something. Amy looks genuinely remorseful. Sorry, Hisao. I promised the captain that I'd stick around after practice and help some of the other kids with their farm. It will have to be some other time. Yeah, sure. I'm honestly not sure what to do now. Maybe dive into things the day after would be a bad idea anyway. She might still be angry about it and just not showing it. Besides, if she's got track team responsibilities, that's fine, right? Right? I tell myself some variation on this team the next day. Then the next. I wake up, run with Amy, during which she refuses to talk about anything but the run and what she was doing the night before. And then lunch, where we sit and make small talk until the bell rings. Her new responsibilities effectively keep me from seeing her outside of school. Maybe. Just maybe. I'm letting it happen because it's safer this way, just like the nurse said. Except, while it may be safer, I'm feeling more and more wretched. Maybe it doesn't look good when I see her anymore. Dark circles right under her eyes. She seems more and more distracted, and I can't bring myself to just ask what's wrong because the timing never seems right. I'm absolutely miserable. I mean, damn. I mean, he was placed in such a rough spot over there. Not gonna lie. It's such a tough situation. Then again, I mean, in the other routes it was also tough, right? Another lunch comes. I trudge up the stairs to the rooftop like a condemned man. Rin is up there, but Emmy's not. Immediately I worry that something's happening there. Maybe the lack of sleep finally made her collapse, or something worse. She seemed pretty tired after our morning run. Maybe she fell asleep and didn't even make it to the class. Hey Rin, where's Emmy? In response, I get a rather penetrating look from Rin, and something approaching a frown appears on her face. Is that information really important? I mean, I think so. She's usually here with you, isn't she? I don't know. I have no way of being sure. Okay, I can confirm that she is, in fact, usually here with you when I come up. Well, she isn't now. Does that worry you? Kind of. That seems to end the conversation, and the panel becomes moot anyway because Emmy bounced through the door with her usual energy. He's always kind of worried about you, Emmy. I don't think he can decide, or maybe I just don't believe him. But I think I'm going to go somewhere less awkward now. I'm so surprised by Rin's being so suddenly forward about, well, anything at all that merely watch her head through the door. Amy is similarly surprised, and colors slightly crimson, as she stares open-mouthed at me. It occurs to me that I should probably say something, if only to break the awkward silence that has suddenly descended. It's because you weren't here yet, yeah. I was worried about it, yeah. Why? I mean, you're usually here, so I was worried something happened to you. This is the first time I've been late, you know. Did you get worried all the other times too? Not really. Amy seems slightly amused by this. I don't know why, but that kind of pisses me off. So, why was this time an exception? I wonder. Maybe it's the light teasing tone of the question, but something in the response pushes me to be honest, for I can't help snapping at her when I say it. Because you've been worrying me since dinner at your house, that's why. Well, now it's out in the open, and Amy's eyes are wide, and she looks like she wants to bolt, but she doesn't. Still on that, I see. What? You think I'm supposed to just forget about it? You threw me out of your house. We've been going on for almost a week. To be fair, that's not much of the time. Wait, it's been a week and you... I can't believe I can't believe that she would introduce you to parents after a week only. It's crazy. Anyway, pretending it never happened. I didn't see you bringing it up either, you know. I know, and I'm sorry that was the case. We had to address it, or we'll just keep up this, whatever it is we've got right now. It's killing me to look at how you look right now, did you know that? Those circles under your eyes, and then you started looking them, and I can't feel worrying that I've caused it somehow. You haven't, trust me. Well, I haven't helped either. I keep pushing you to tell me things that you aren't ready to tell me. Maybe I was wrong to try getting to your mother to help me out, but I've been so worried about it that I didn't know what else to do. Well, you don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? I think it's pretty clear we're not right for each other, so maybe we should just stop. Huh? Her face is twisted up as she says this. Like she doesn't want to say it, but forces herself to anyway. You don't actually want to do that, yeah? Right? Heck, you can barely bring yourself to say it. Anyway, it won't keep me from worrying about you. I care too much about you to just stop on command. You don't want to tell me what's wrong. Fine, but I won't stop trying to help you even if it's just standing by you. Stop saying that! She's shaking now, and as she looks at me, I can see she's afraid and frustrated and a million different things all at once. I shake my head slowly and take a few steps toward her. You know what your mom told me? She told me that you'd never ask for help because you know that you're strong enough to get through anything on your own. But that's not the full story, ain't it? Her eyes go wide and she takes a step back. I keep going because I think I finally figured it out. Something tells me I won't get another shot. I've put it off for far too long as this. There is no harm in having someone help you unless you're worried about needing help in the first place. You're scared, aren't you? Because of... No, turn out because I don't know for certain what happened to Amy's father and I don't want to jump to a conclusion. Well, never mind why, but it's okay to be afraid. You've been running from it and from me for so long, even though you know eventually you have to turn around and face your fear, and I'm going to be there to help you when you do. I won't stop because I don't think you'd want me to. You can understand that sort of determination, can't you? I can see that I've gotten through to her, but she quickly falls back to anger to try and push me away again. Back on your white charger, Hisao, huh? Gotta help the poor cripple face her emotional problems. What do you know about me? And what? About what I've already had to face. You think 2 months of learning walking again was fun, but I did it, and after I did that, I had to... For a moment it seems like she's going to say something else, but she cuts herself off. And after all of that, you don't think you can get past your fear. I can't fathom what you've been through, but to come through it, and still be the sort of girl that you are, well, it makes me think that you have even more strength than you think. So I'm not going to help you because I think you need rescuing. I don't want to be knight rescuing the dumps and lizards, but even knights help each other out, you know how to help you, even though I know you can do it on your own. For a moment, it looked... Sorry. For a minute, it looks like Emi's going to break down completely, but she doesn't. Tears run down her face, but she stares at me steadily. Why are you trying so hard to help me? I'd say it's because I owe you one for me out when we first met, but that would be the truth. The truth is, I just want you to be happy because I love you. Had I ever said that before? We've been in a relationship, and it's been pretty obvious that I love her, but did I ever actually speak the words? What to say? Yeah! I said again, savoring the feeling of being able to say it at all. Being able to say it and mean it. Emi seems stunned. I said, I love you, Emi. Okay? I love you. Just you, and that makes me want to stand by you, no matter what you have to face. I'm wrapped in a fierce hug then, as Emi begins to sob against my chest. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry about everything, but I'm so scared, Hisao. I'm so scared of losing you, and I love you too, but I can't lose you, I just feel I'm so sorry! I hold her quietly, shushing her until she settles down. She steps back a little more composed. Will you come with me tomorrow? Back to my house? There are some things I need to show if I'm going to do this. Of course. I mean, maybe this time we can live together instead of separately. Emi grins, a sudden flash of brightness that seems more genuine than anything I've seen the past week. Yeah, maybe. My lunch bell rings, and I curse the universe's poor sense of timing. Are you free tonight? We can talk more, right? Then, right? Emi shakes her head. Sorry, Hisao, but I'm still helping the track team. Plus, I don't think it would be good if we talked this overnight tonight. I'm going to be too tired to think properly, and I want to be able to tell you everything without screwing it up. You can wait, right? Even now, there's a bit of fear in her voice. I smile and rest a hand on her shoulder. Okay, I'll be waiting. Emi gives me a quick kiss before she heads for the stairwell. Thanks, Hisao. See you tomorrow morning. Wouldn't miss it. Wouldn't miss it. I head down the stairs with the feel of her lips on mine, suddenly aware of how much I've missed that sensation. I'll have to remember to thank Rin for getting us to talk to one another. By the way, you know how Rin is a gambler? Do you think maybe, perhaps, she also made a bet, but this time with the nurse? I mean, there's an option like that, right? Maybe for once she believed in us. Anyway, although it's possible she won't even realize what she's done. Still, if not for her, I doubt I'd have ever been able to confront Emi again. I guess I need more help than I realized. Tomorrow, however, I'll need to stand alone through whatever Emi's trying to work herself up to doing. I'll be up to the task, I hope. I hope. I really do. That's rough. The morning sun is bright through my open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. I slept surprisingly well last night, secure in the knowledge that at least I've got another chance with Emi. If I can just keep myself from doing anything stupid, maybe I'll find out what's been eating her recently. I have a few educated guesses, but nothing concrete, and certainly nothing that I'm going to say to her. I'd much prefer to have her tell me herself. Although I can't help remembering the nurse's warning that I might not like what she has to say. Do I really need to know that badly? What if it's something awful that makes me repulsed by her? Can I really say that I'm prepared to handle whatever she has to say, regardless of what that is? Emi said she won't tell me without screwing it up. What the hell did she mean by that? What's there to screw up? I suppose there's not much use worrying about it for. I'll find out today. It occurs to me that I really need a run this morning to clear my head, if nothing else. Emi's waiting for me as promised, looking a little haggard, but otherwise bright and cheerful. Much more so than any previous day this week. Hisao, you're late! I wave my hand dismissively. Nonsense! You're just early! Emi agrees back, and feels like we're finally back where we should be with one another. Except now, Emi, not just me, wants to take another step forward, although a part of me worries that she will just back out at the last second. Hurry up and stretch, Hisao! I don't want to miss the bus! Bus? The bus? What do you mean? I said I want to come back to my house, remember? And I promised Mom we'd be there in time for lunch, so I wanted to hurry. Let's see something quickly. Quickly. Nope, not there yet. Okay. Early start, huh? It's more for my mom's benefit than anything else. Well, that's okay. And unsuccessfully try to guess what Emi has planned, short before realizing that it doesn't matter that much to me. I quickly go through my warm-up routine while Emi bounces impatiently from one foot to the other. She really does seem to want to get moving as soon as possible. That was a new expression, with like the tongue sticking out of her mouth here. Also, I actually tend to do that while doing sports, apparently, when I really get to, you know, concentrate. Anyway, the run is over so quickly I can barely believe that I haven't fallen over dead afterwards. Emi set a blistering pace and I, in my foolishness, kept up with her. Well, until the last few laps, I had to slow down just in case, but I don't mind, and Emi's waiting patiently for me when I finish, as patiently as she can wait anyway. Finished? Good, come on! Grabbing my arm, she practically rushed me down to the nurse's office. You seem in a hurry, Emi, trying to catch the early bus? Yeah, I thought Mom might be back for lunch. Well, I'll take care of you first then. But Hisa's gonna come with me too. The nurse raises a single eyebrow at this statement and peers at the two of us searchingly. Really? Today, huh? Emi's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin. Well then, we'll make this quick. Emi enters the nurse's office, and I patiently wait outside for her to finish, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Emi's declaration. Could it be that this is the day that is exactly the day of that anniversary? Anyway, I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or the significance of today, beyond the fact that it is clearly significant in some way, of course. True to his words, the nurse has Emi out his office surprisingly quickly, and I take her place after promising to meet up at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit. Your heartbeat is faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you? She seemed in a rush to get through the run, so yeah. I'm not surprised. Today's rather important to her, you know. I suspected that could be the case, but I have no idea why is that case, yeah. She hasn't told you? Interesting. So, you're not going to tell me either then, right? No, I'm not. I suspect that Emi has her own plan for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? Now as for your heart, I'll take it easy for the rest of the day. No spontaneous races, or anything like that. Got it? Got it. She won't have her running legs anyway, right? No, but if you think something like that is going to stop her. Good point. I don't think it'll be much of an issue today as of all days, but still. If he's trying to reassure me, he's doing a terrible job. I'm quickly becoming more and more about what today could be for, like suddenly finding out Emi's in a cult or something. What if she is? At the same time, if today is such a big deal and Emi wants me to be with her for it, then maybe she really does want to grow closer to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to the sleepless nights and the sudden mood swings. Either way, I barely remember to thank the nurse before taking off as quickly as I dare for my room. To get a shower, throw some decent looking clothes. If today is as important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Emi, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate, wearing her casual shirts and shorts. So at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is. Meanwhile, I'm here, throwing on my best suit. God damn it! Actually, I only have one. I think it might be too big. Anyway, you're here early, Hisao. Not as early as you. Eager, are we? Emi cheekily pokes out her tongue. The bus stop isn't very crowded at this hour, which seems to please Emi, and we end up relaxing as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emi's trying to work herself up to say something. I hate that I just did that. Anyway, I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her to talk. It doesn't take too long, but then again, I mean, using that voice so often. So, I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it was weird for me to be bringing you along today. I was, yes, but if you're not ready to tell me. Let me stop my sentence by placing a finger on my lips. Huh. Don't tempt me, Hisao. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as to how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring. I just want to be able to say it. So, say it. You know that it's not going to be that easy for me, Hisao. So, treat it like running. Warm up to it with something small and easy and go from there, but don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man. No, I'm not. I can wait for you to get to it. I mean, I don't know. People get the view of me as the patient one, but I'm not. I mean, with most things I can be patient, but there is some stuff that I just like, no. I need to know everything. Anyway, Emi seems to consider my words, weighing them against what is probably a desire to get it over with. I'll admit, as much as I keep telling Emi to take her time, I wouldn't mind her getting it over with either. But somehow I know that Emi probably needs more time than the bus ride will provide to get it all out, whatever it is. Yeah, maybe you're right. The bus stop probably isn't the best place for this anyway. But just to make sure that I don't go back on my word, I will at least say this. She takes a deep breath, lets it out, and after a moment she says in a low voice, We're going to see my dad today. Huh? The words hang in the air, and I can see that Emi's afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which part of me almost wants to do. But it would be stupid of me to back out, or to suddenly abandon the promise I made to be there for Emi when she needs me. The nurse thought it was so weird of her to bring me along. She does bring anyone along, or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. The day seems to take on an even greater significance. What has it taken Emi to even get this far? And why is that the best I can manage as a response? Yeah. I don't know what I should say. Nothing, I think. Just promise that you're going to come with me. Yeah, you know I will. Emi smiles wanly, looking a little relieved. Huh. Good. In that case, we'd better get going. The bus pulls up just a little after she finishes the sentence. Vague memories of my first trip out here come to mind as I step off the bus, but unfortunately they are too vague to be of any use. Fortunately, at least we don't get a freaking flashback from 5 minutes ago. I'll be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get to Emi's house, so I let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence, and I myself have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house having said nothing since getting off the bus. Emi's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me standing next to her daughter. I expect that Emi would have phoned ahead to let her mother know of the change in plans. Emi, Hisao, you're just in time. Lunch is just about ready. Why did I? Great! I was afraid to be. We might be running late. As fast as you were going this morning, I doubt there was much of a chance of that. I certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hisao. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus and the almost brooding quiet walk has quickly become cheerful again. Probably to keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy plans to tell me later. Miss Ibarasaki ushers us in, and in short order we're around the table devouring lunch. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seem to be eating almost as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I met so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days. I skipped breakfast this morning. Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assume? But then I figured it'd make too much food, so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. It is a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. How much did she make? I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thanks Miss Ibarasaki for the food. I'm glad you like it, Hisao. Now, has Emmy told you where we're going? Sort of. Is it far from here? Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It closes kind of early. Okay. So, my theory was correct. For a second there, I thought it might be different, but yeah. I nod in assent and stood up, ready to go. Well then, shall we? Miss Ibarasaki nods and leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles slightly at me and shrugs. She's fallen silent again, which probably means that I'm right, and she's starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her, she's done such a good job shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I worry that she's forcing it. But said, while waiting for the bus, that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out. And so I promised to go with her anyway. I suppose there is not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope the both of us are up to it. I'm worried that I might not be up to it. We're off. Emmy's mother blows through the dining room, collects the two of us, and heads out the door at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. I freaking knew it from. Yeah. The car pulls up at the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. I reach over and give her hand a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back, as if to make sure I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When do I wind up with a marker of my own? How much longer do I have left? That is the questions I don't want to know the answers to. The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore is not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I don't want to go among the dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were or what they could have been if they'd only had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and my resolve returns. Emmy striding purposefully down the path, eyes clear, setting a pace that's very nearly a jog. The sooner we get there, I suspect she thinks, the better. We're here! A gravestone. Holy, unremarkably, in everything except for the name etched upon it, and the grass has grown up around the base. Emmy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around, looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn.
pink's not actually my favorite color, you know.
What?
I'm warming up to it. People tend to think that pink's my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries. And even though those are red, they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries.
No, it's not.
And that's it. That is my favorite color. But it's not. I'm too polite to know otherwise. Of course. And it's not the kind of thing worth getting worried about. But I'll bet even you thought pink was my favorite color.
Not really. Can't say I did.
Blue! That's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that. And now you do too.
Thanks for telling me, I think.
You're welcome.
There is a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath.
I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do.
Sounds like me.
I don't mind because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway.
Well, that's one potential date idea out of the window.
People think that I'm a really popular friend person, but I only have a few close friends. Probably because I keep everyone in the dark, but I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend.
Same.
There are people who are off the risk.
True.
I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think that I only run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend.
Oh!
I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamaku, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with the distance between us.
Her rate of speaking increases slightly as if she's rushing towards the finish line.
I'm actually 1 year older than you.
Ha!
What? What? Everybody thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but I had to skip one school year because of my accident. What? She's older. What? They actually thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I lost my legs already, but they were afraid that I wouldn't even be able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessment was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of a shock. Short-term paralysis due to the other trauma I'd experienced. My recovery was one of the fastest they'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out if they were serious about it, or if they told vets to all the patients learning to walk again.
She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort.
8 years ago, today, I lost my legs. And I lost my father, as well. He died on the way to the hospital. I didn't even get to go to the grave site until 2 months later, and couldn't attend his funeral.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. That's what everyone always says. That they're sorry. I hate hearing that. Like anyone could have done anything to change what happened. You know the best piece of advice I got? These things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But it's true, you know. These things happen. And there is nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned, and they aren't always bad, and they aren't always good, but they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future, and to be sure that I never had to say goodbye again. I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time. And you know what?
She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears, and I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up her hand to stop me.
I'm not finished.
A deep breath, and she continues.
It worked pretty well. Until I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust to stuff here. So I thought I'd help, and then you were so nice, and I couldn't help it.
The tears are flowing now, and she accepts the embrace this time. The rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest.
I tried not to fall for you, but I did. And then I tried to keep you at a distance, like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared because I don't want to lose you, and I might anyway.
Hey, I'm still around! And maybe I won't be forever, but don't you think it would be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day. There could be a bus crash or something, but so long as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it matters. A sudden thought strikes me, and I can't help laughing. My condition had me scared of dying so bad that I immediately seized on the opportunity Emmy presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, would there have been any motivation to keep up with my running? It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks up at me, confused. We'll go on living until we stop, and when we stop living we'll be able to know that it is we've had time together, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I love you, Emmy, and right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through her tears and steps back from me.
You know, it's funny.
What is?
I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone. But now, I don't think I'd have it another way either. I'm glad I met you, Hisao.
Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay by the grave for a while, as Emmy pays her respect to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs non-committally.
I'll be fine. Come on, let's go.
We pause outside the girl's dorm, and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye.
Why didn't you come up for a while?
Okay. They walk up to her room in silence. I'm not sure why. I suppose I'd be turned away at the door. I guess I just assumed she'd want to be alone. I wonder if Urine knows about all of that as well. Her mom, the nurse, hell, everyone who knew the significance today seemed to think it best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on the day that she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into the room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in, and the door swings shut behind me.
Hey, can I ask you a favor?
Sure. Can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles, and pulls me into a case that starts out soft but deepens into something almost desperate.
Stay with me, please.
Her voice has dropped to a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There is something about the way that she asked that question, the hesitancy in it, the quiet voice, that makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No. She means exactly what she said.
Stay with me.
Not
tonight.
Or
forever.
Because both of us know there is no such thing as forever. There is no time limit to her request. There is just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards the bed, stepping backwards with care, until she sits down on the edge. The morning light seems to reach further into Emmy's room than it does into mine. This results in my waking up earlier than I would have if I had gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I didn't realize it until this morning, but this is the first time we've actually spent the night together. Just sleeping, okay? A small movement from my partner's still slumbering form causes me to look to the side. Hairs played across her face, Emmy continues to sleep peacefully curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twintails. Yes, it's better. But it's also a look I could get used to. Yes! The small size of the beds here necessitates her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she would have done so anyway. The covers suddenly over her head, and I smile as an errant strand of hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw her a little closer, a move which she seems to think is a good idea. Her steady breath raises a trail of goosebumps on my chest, but I don't mind. I'm no longer tired, but I do not feel a need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in response against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling and consider how it is that we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not that close. It seems like only yesterday that she ran into me in the hallway and after apologizing decided to take an interest in my well-being. But that grew into something else, which I at least was not expecting. One thing is for certain. Having found Emmy, I will try as hard as I can not to lose her. My morning musing is interrupted by further movement from her. Her eyes flutter open and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed as well as her current state of dress, which is non-existent. Then she smiles happily and sits up, her face looking down at me.
Good morning, Hisao.
Seriously, don't do that twin tails. Keep it like this. God damn it. Hi. Sleep well?
Yeah, I did. Exhausting day yesterday, you know.
I think back over yesterday's trip to the graveyard. Yeah. Glad to hear you slept well.
How'd you sleep?
Well enough. Although you kept holding the covers. This earns me a shove and a stuck-up tongue. I chuckle and then me giggles a little and we fall quiet for a while. I soak up the feeling of how right it all seems. Waking up with Emmy by me, crammed into a bed made for one person. It's something I could get used to.
Hey, Hisao.
Thanks
for sticking around.
No problem. Save me the walk back anyway, right? This draws another giggle, but then Emmy's expression turns serious again.
No, really. I kept trying to push you away because I thought this was the right thing to do, and you stuck around through it all. I could make any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. Sorry, I mean it. Thank you.
She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back and looking at me with an expression of affection. God damn it. I have such a runny nose. I reach up and ruffle her hair, smiling all the while. I'm stupidly lucky, I think, to have come through everything after my heart attack and to somehow have found this girl. It's nothing short of a miracle. Yeah, you're welcome, Emmy. I couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll even continue to stick around if you want.
I like that.
That settles it then. I know how long my heart will keep working. And I don't even really know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. If we keep doing that, we'll be okay. I think.
So, Hisao. What do you want to do today?
Yes. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the good ending. You know what? I mean, my stance doesn't change. Hanako is my favorite girl, but this might have been the best route for me. I think I won't get into details, whatever really, but this one has kind of resonated with me the most. And it's crazy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed as well. And you know what? I don't know how to actually get the normal end. Or should I say neutral end. So that's a bit problematic because this guide also does not show how to do that. But it does show me how to get a bad end. But I will search up how to get the neutral end. We'll get there, of course, in the next episode. And afterwards, we'll try getting the bad ending. And then we'll be left with chasing after Rin. So, for now, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you tomorrow. And I wish you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.